City Councillor Tito Jackson. What brings you to the Labor Day Union rally?
Yep, so I'm here to fight for 15. We currently don't have a $15 an hour minimum wage. When I'm mayor, on day one, we're going to file for a $15 an hour minimum wage. We know it has to go through the state, but we need to lead and not follow in this space. Boston has the fourth largest income gap, and we are leading in many aspects of income inequality. How we deal with these issues is to push up our wages, to deal with the issues that are around gentrification that are pushing people out of the city of Boston. And as mayor, that's what I look forward to doing.
And what do you think about the argument that the minimum wage is actually anti-poor because it increases the cost of basic goods and it forces employers to fire their employees because they can't afford to pay them $15 an hour?
Wrong, asinine, and I'm going to stop there because there's some other things I might say about that.
Why do you think that's wrong?
Well, because the data doesn't show. So the cities that have actually raised the minimum wage, there have not been massive firings. And understand, poor people are foregoing buying things. They're foregoing paying their rent on time. They're foregoing bills that they have. This actually helps people, and by the way, it stimulates the economy. And this is the real issue that we've seen is that with record corporate earnings, wages are stagnant. So what does that mean? That money is going to the top 1% and not going to regular people, and our families are suffering, and we need to step up. And actually, we need to be Democrats with the backbone.
Yeah. Well, you're saying studies, that's not what studies show, but that's actually incorrect because in Seattle, when they did increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour, they're the first city to do that. They actually did see a loss of jobs because of that.
No, actually, you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
You show me the data.
Okay.
You go ahead and show me the data.
I'll
because
I've
spoken to elected officials across the country who've done this.
Yeah.
Listen, when it comes down to these issues, we actually have to use real data that is going and that has shown across the board. And we can debate on this, but you need to show me, and I'll show you what I have.
I'll be happy to send that to you. Yeah.
I would love to see that. And so what we know is Boston is one of the top cities to actually live in relative to cost of living. And we know right now in the city of Boston that we are not paying enough for people to be able to stay in and live in the city of Boston. It takes $98,000 to purchase a home right now in the city of Boston. The median net worth of a white family in Boston is $247,500, and the median net worth of a black family in Boston is $8. The median net worth of a Puerto Rican family is $3,020, and the median net worth of a Dominican family is $0 in our city right now. Those are not my numbers. There's a study called The Color of Wealth, and it's by the Boston Federal Reserve Bank. It was put out in 2015.
Okay.
And so those numbers are those are bankable. Go ahead and check them out.
Okay. Well, one last question. Why do you think you'd be a better mayor than Mayor Walsh, and what are some of the things that you would push for?
Yeah, so what I'm going to push for is to ensure that we stop the gentrification that's happening in the city of Boston. Massive numbers of people, and to the tune of 50 to 60 families a week are coming to my office who are getting pushed out of the city. I'm going to use public land for public good. We're going to be developing affordable housing and dealing with issues of rising rents and affordability. In addition, I will fully fund the Boston public schools, and we know that young people in the city of Boston are 100% of our future, and there's no reason that we're giving $25 million checks to General Electric and not fully funding the Boston public schools, which were cut by $11 million, and 49 schools this year were cut. One school in particular, our vocational school, was cut by $455,000. You can work with your hands, you can make some money for yourself. And so we have a lot to do there in that space.
So now that you bring up education, let me ask one last question. What is your stance on charter schools? Massachusetts does have the best charter school in the country. They show that they do produce extraordinary results, especially with minorities and low-income families. So what's your stance on charter schools?
You know, you're missing something. Massachusetts has the best public education and schools, bar none, in the whole United States. Every school system. And so we rank number one, bar none, across every, and not only charters. So let's as my mom would say, tell the truth and shame the devil when it comes down to it. All schools and not only Boston, Massachusetts leads the country in education. Charters are a part of the atmosphere in the city of Boston, as well as state of Massachusetts. But understand, when we look at the education system in the state of Massachusetts, 96% of students go to district public schools. And so if we're going to talk about reforms, we actually have to deal with the over $1 billion that doesn't go into schools across the board. Charters, again, are, in terms of the numbers of students, are actually a smaller number of students. So we can't only help a small number of students, we have to help all students as a whole. In Boston Public Schools, we have 58,000 students. 4,000 of them are homeless, and we actually have to deal with those issues. So again, we have some charters that actually score better, some that score worse, and some that score the same. It is my job to ensure that all young people in the city of Boston do well. I happen to work in mentoring some young people at the Boston Renaissance Charter School, but I mentor young people across the board. There's no panacea. So this is the other piece, that we have to deal with the issues of poverty.
Yeah.
And we know that when we actually do the correlations of test taking, 90% of your scores are actually based on your socioeconomic background and where your parents are. So it is critical that we deal with the issues that we're dealing with here.
Yeah, and I think charter schools have shown to actually lessen that income inequality. But I think that's
the data does not show that, brother. So
MIT, Harvard studies that actually do show this.
Actually, the MIT study, the CREDO study that you're talking about, over the course of time. So let me say this. This is education. If there's a silver bullet, then that means we should be sharing it with everyone. There should be no secret sauce in education. The CREDO study, and actually if you look at KIP over the course of time, they're looking at people's life outcomes, whether or not they're actually able to do better. There's not a statistically substantial difference there. In addition, we also have to look at the Boston Public Schools. There's something called persistence. So 6 years post-graduation, how many kids have graduated high school? Interestingly, charter schools from Boston, 44% with the last numbers that I've seen, and 50% of the students from Boston Public Schools. So I caution you in making it seem that there's absolutely a superiority in terms of the actual model. The objective in education is, and I know you want to do it, there's this component around competition. If all of our young people are not uplifted, you know what, we all lose.
Yeah.
Right? And so it has to be about the uplift and learning and sharing, because understand, in 1993 when charter started in the state of Massachusetts, they were supposed to be the innovative test kitchen of education. So the interesting part about that means that Legal Seafood Test Kitchen, they're not trying to put legal seafood out of business. Right? We're trying to help all young people and ensure that all young people get there. So if we can, and I would love to sit and exchange data with you.
Yeah.
I'm about to go knock on some doors.
I'd love to send you some studies, but I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for doing
Thank you so much.
We'll be following the election.